Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Budgeting for Future. My name is Leah and today we will be reviewing our business budget for the first 3 months of the year. I thought we would kind of change up how I show this information to you guys because I do most of our business budgeting right in a Excel document, and I thought it would be a little bit easier to show you what was going on to compare the last 3 months. Today we'll be reviewing our business budget in January, February, and March, and you can kind of see how we've planned for some expenses, but then also how we reconciled the budget to make sure that it was up to date as we went from month to month. I do personally budget us monthly as well as yearly because each year we have different financial goals for our business. And I just remembered, I forgot to tell you what the business was. We do own a rental property in our local area. It is a 2-unit property, which is why you see that rent is up here. That's the rent that we receive from the tenants who we do have living in our rental property. And yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right into this thing. All right, so to start us out with January, you can see here that we were planning to receive rent from both of our 2 units. We had been not paid in December from one of the units. Their check ended up actually getting lost in the mail, and we received their January rent before we ever received their December rent. So we just let them know that we needed that. And I ended up having to go up to the property later in January, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And they were able to give us both of their rent checks at that time. We have had them renting with us for probably going on 3 years now. So we have a pretty good relationship with them. They're barely ever late. They are never not paying us. So it was definitely a fluke. And we did not charge them a fee for giving us a late rent check. And then everything went smoothly with our second tenants. You can see here, these are our fixed expenses. We have our mortgage, which includes our taxes and insurance. We do cover internet for the unit, both of them. We previously lived in the rental property, and so we previously would share the internet with our tenants, and now we just give them all internet and we make that one less thing that they have to pay for. And I think it kind of sweetens the deal when it comes to our marketing. We did accidentally purchase a meal with our business credit card. It was my husband's mistake, and typically when we have like business meetings between ourselves, we won't, if we're maybe doing that over dinner, we won't typically charge that to the business. We don't really see the point, but you can technically write off any business meetings as business expenses if you're maybe buying a coffee or grabbing dinner with someone. And so we just are counting this as a dinner in which we discussed our business. Most likely we did discuss that business, but that was a Jimmy John's purchase specifically. We wanted to save up some money for taxes, and we did know that we would have to pay taxes for this year, but we weren't really sure how much. So originally we planned to save about $250 for that. And then we also had a really big maintenance problem come up with the rental property. On January 1st, we got a call from the tenants letting us know that their shower was no longer giving them water. They had no water pressure at all. Luckily, that unit had 2 showers in it. So we let them know that we would get to fixing that as soon as we could, but probably wouldn't happen very fast. And by the middle of the month, I was able to go up to the property and we got that fixed for them. They had to change not only the faucet head, but some of the plumbing leading up to it because we do have some pretty old pipes in the rental property. And then we also had a pipe in the basement that had split and hadn't started like leaking out of the side of the pipe, but was getting to that point. So since we already had the plumbers out anyways, we had that work done as well. We estimated that it would probably cost us right around $3,000, and we decided to put $1,800 towards this month's income towards that, and it did end up equaling out to be $3,240.51, which is just a little bit more than we had originally planned. So we're calling it a win. All the plumbing is looking really good in the rental property right now. And typically that's the biggest problem that comes up is, well, we're always having plumbing issues. It's a pretty old structure. So that is really the only part of it that hasn't gotten a lot of updating done, but we've probably sunk in about $7,000 into our plumbing so far since we first bought the property. So a lot of it's looking good because of the work that we've done. In terms of our running sinking funds, we do keep a $4,500 emergency fund in our property so that if crazy things come up like this one, we were able to dip into that. And we did have to dip into it a little bit. By the end of the month, we had $4,140.61 left in our emergency fund. And then we ended up not being able to save any money over for taxes because of that emergency that happened. And so we ended the month with $500 left in our taxes sinking fund, and that will wrap up January for us. In February, we expected it to be paid by both of our tenants, and they only had to pay for 1 month, which is standard for us. We had one tenant pay us perfectly, and then the other had a bounced check. So we're currently working with them to figure out what happened there. It's again 2 months in a row, so kind of weird, not really sure what's going on. They said that everything looked fine on their end, but we did try to deposit the check and it did not let us. So we're still in the middle of working that out, and we're going to end up receiving that $905 most likely in March when they give us their March rent. In terms of our fixed expenses, those went through pretty similarly. We estimated the water bill would be under $80 and it ended up being over $80. And then we did have a filing fee that we had to pay. We do have a LLC for this business, and it does cost $25 to maintain that business every single year in our state. So we paid that typically in February of each year. In terms of our goals, in terms of savings, we did hope to put money back into our emergency fund to get us back up to $4,500. We were not able to do that and ended up taking even more money out of our emergency fund to cover the fixed expenses due to the tenants only partially paying us. We were also hoping to put some money into our maintenance fund. We tried to put in 1% of the amount that the house is worth into a maintenance fund every single month if we aren't dipping into it. And so that would be somewhere between $150 to $200. And again, weren't able to do that. We do also need to replace the roof on that rental property in the next few years. It's not in poor condition yet, but it is definitely on its last legs. So we're looking to save up about $15,000 before we get that quoted. We did get it quoted when we originally bought the property, and they estimated that the roof would cost about $15,000 to repair because it is got a lot of valleys. It's a very intricate roof overall. So we are slowly trying to save up for that with all of our extra money that comes in when it does come in. And so we ended up February with $4,002.07 in our emergency fund. So almost $500 less than what we should have in it. We had $500 for taxes, and we ended up just paying for taxes out of our personal funds. Now, just to give you an idea, if you're not familiar, but when you have an LLC, you file your taxes yourself, and you also file your taxes in the same return with yourself. And so our business, even though it makes a fair bit of money, we only had $1,000 worth of taxable income. And so that would probably be about $250 that our business probably should have paid in taxes, but we went ahead and just took on that financial burden instead. Overall, we typically don't take money out of our business account, especially right now with our emergency fund being so low. So we've just kept that taxes of $500 in there. And that's how we wrapped up the month. Wasn't a great month overall, mostly because we had that check bounce, but hopefully March will be able to make up for that. And now on to March, we are expecting to receive that amount from February that we're missing from our one tenants. We get paid in the middle of March from them, so we haven't yet received that. Our other tenants have already paid us for March, which is awesome. So we have a little bit of money that's already come through. In our fixed expenses, our mortgage did go down. 2 years ago, we underpaid for our home insurance for the year. And so last year, we spent the year paying a lot extra to cover the previous cost of the home insurance through our escrowed account. And we have officially paid back the bank who was able to cover those costs for us. And we are now more even keel. We are now paying about $300, $200 or $300 less every single month towards our mortgage, taxes, and insurance. We did also have to pay for our trash because we do provide trash services for our tenants as well as water and internet, like I previously talked about. And we do pay that quarterly. They have 2 trash cans, which is why that is so friggin' expensive, but it went through already this month. And in terms of our savings goals, we are hoping to build up our emergency fund back to $4,500. We're hoping to put another $100 into taxes. We think if we put $100 away every single month, we should be able to pay our taxes through our business account next year. And we, again, are hoping to put $200 towards maintenance, which is 1% of the cost of the property if you were to just sell it. And then the rest of the money we're trying to save up for our roof. So we have $1,040.83 that we are hoping to put in towards that to start off that roof project. And that'll be all for the video today. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and consider giving the video a like. And if you'd like to see more content from me, go ahead and subscribe. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.